The sweat on my back's got my shirt soaked and sour, and oh, it's already gone. Second night's coming and I'm spinning back around. We're all caught up, can't hear or feel the sound, and oh, it's already gone. And here comes the feeling when you don't got nothing, and all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hide long cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain, is life's too short to be worrying about you hurting for long. Oh, it's already gone. Got time but money's not something that's free. Seems the roll of the dice never rolls back to me. You know, it's already gone. A bird in my hand, two cans in the other, start spinning around. Now here comes another, and oh, it's already gone. And here comes the feeling when you don't got nothing, and all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hide long cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain, is life's too short to be worrying about you hurting for long. Oh, it's already gone. And all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hide long cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain, is life's too short to be worried about you hurting for long. Whoa, it's already gone. Already gone. It's already gone. Go.
What is up, Jags fans? How is everybody doing? I mean, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that you guys are here. Trying to figure out how to get rid of this banner here. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know. There we go. Okay. We're here for another Jags United live show. I've never been more demoralized about cutting film in my entire life than I was tonight. Okay? Not happy, but we're going to try to focus on the positives here. This is a live show. I'm glad that you guys are here. This is a fan show, so get into the comments. I try to hit all the comments here. There's still 15 more games, right? So, we still have 15 more games. We could win out and go 15-2. All right? If we're looking back on the season in January and we're 15-2, our feelings tonight aren't going to matter. So let me just pre-rec everything with that. It is still early. We are going through one of the toughest parts of our schedule. Follow everything in the video description. There's all kind of stuff in here. We might have some special guests here tonight. I do want to try to get my like energy up for the channel sponsor, Racha Sriracha. This is good stuff. The Jags are not good, but this is good. I mean, look, I'm almost out. Jags fan makes this. If you like spicy food, you'll like it. If you like sweet hot sauce, you'll like it. If you don't like hot sauce at all, you'll still like it. So this stuff is good, unlike the Jags, who are not good. That being said, video description. I don't want to rip the sponsor off. I feel like sponsors know what they're getting with me. If you have a business or you have something you're trying to promote, please hit me up. I swear I am a great. Why are we okay. All right. Listen, here's my problem tonight, boys. Here's my problem. Is not only was I at the game and I actually got to hang out with Travis Holmes. Actually, you know what? Screw the Jags, dude. I don't even care. I mean, we're going to talk. I have film loaded up. I'm going to get to the comments. I don't care, dude. I really don't. Like, you can't hurt me anymore. The same problems we had at the end of last year, we have now. The exact same problems. If this is your first show with us, I apologize. I wish I could tell you that it's not normally like this, but it is kind of like this sometimes. I'm trying to find my profile so I can show you the picture of me and Travis Holmes, but I literally can't because much like the Jags offensive line, my Twitter's not working. All right, I found it. All right, this might give you guys something here. All right, this might give you something here. All right, look at this. Look at this. Look at me and Travis having a great time at the Jags game. You know, we may have lost, but at least we had a great time at the Jags game. I mean, look at this. Look at me and Travis just hanging out at the game. Just two Jag bros watching the worst offensive line and the worst play calling of all time. Let's get to some freaking comments, dude. Let's get to some comments. Like I said, this is your first show with us. I got my freaking setup. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Slayer G is number one, is the first one in the chat. Says, what the hell was that game, Jason? Break it down for me. Show me what so much went wrong. I got to the point where I literally got frustrated cutting film. I'm going to get to the film cuts here in a second, and I have a little admission to make about the film cuts. I'll give you a hint. I got so angry, it was hard for me to do it. Like, how on earth can these Jags coaches sit in a film room with these guys and even break this film down? And what makes it even worse is these are the exact same problems we had last year at the end of the season. Like, I wish I could say, oh, this is a new problem. Oh, this is Ryan Nielsen's new defense. They haven't learned it. They brought in Gabe Davis. They brought in Devin Duvernay. They got rid of Calvin Ridley. So there's some things here. They got some new offensive linemen like Mitch Morse, who doesn't really know the system. I wish I could have an excuse for the lack of execution this team has, but I'm sitting here watching both this game and the Dolphins game saying these are the exact same freaking problems we had last year. The exact same problems. The offensive line cannot tackle, can't block. The linebackers can't tackle. The defense can't get off the field on third down. The defense can't avoid drive extending penalties. We can't make easy things like field goals that make the end of the game more reasonable. We can't put a game plan together where in the first half, our offense can sustain a drive to where our defense can get some rest. Our defense can't stay off the field for 16-play drives. I wish I could say this was new stuff, but this is all the exact same damn stuff as last year. I get it. Bring in veteran leadership. You brought in guys like Darnell Savage, Arik Armstead, Ronald Darby, Mitch Morse. Even, Gabe Davis is young, but he's been on a successful. You brought in veteran leadership. Didn't change anything. Nothing has changed. This is the exact same team. This is the exact same damn team as last year. I'm sorry to say it. Okay. We're going to take a second here. We're going to take a deep breath because we're Jags fans. We're going to decompress a second. We're going to relax. We're okay. There's still 15 games left in the season. I got that out of my system. I needed to get that out of my system. You know what? Let's look back at this picture here. Look at me and Travis. Look at these smiles. Look at these smiles that Travis and me have. Look how much fun we're having. Okay. All right. And just so you know, and just for anyone out there that's gonna, this is not a bracelet that I wear. Okay. I was in the Publix tailgating section, and it was free food, free drinks. It was awesome. They made me wear this, and I couldn't get it off without scissors. So please don't judge me on this wristband. Okay. I do not wear things like this. Okay. Just a heads up. Look how happy we look. Look at this. Look at this smile. Look at this upright position by both of us. We both have some pretty cool shoes on. We made the most of it. Let's focus on the positive here. Robert Ayers says, is it just me, or why do we draft Mason Smith and not play him? If only there was a position on the board where you could have drafted to maybe improve a position you could stay healthy, like offensive line. Like, you guys watch this show all the time. Everyone that's here, I haven't even looked at beyond 3 comments, but I'm just guessing everyone that's here is a regular. I have been harping on the offensive line for 3 freaking years. 3 freaking years I've been harping on the offensive line. I go on Club Jaguar. Tomorrow night, I'll be on Club Jaguar with Jordan DeLuca and UCF Jaguar. Talk about the offensive line. I've talked about it so much that I've gotten to the point where I don't talk about it anymore because it's beating a dead horse. And we sit here and we watch the offensive line let us down time and time again. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And we're sitting here as a franchise, beating our heads against the wall, doing the same thing, saying, okay, things will work now. I'm on the verge of saying we're just hands down a poverty franchise, and that's all we'll ever be. Now, I know I'm upset, and I know I'm like on the ledge right now, and maybe by tomorrow or Thursday, I'll be fine and I'll be cool as a cucumber. But right now, I am not that. And you guys caught me at a bad time. And I hate to say it. I hate to say it. And like, I'm not one to be like, we need to see heads rolling, but we have got to change something. The offensive drives in the first half were so pathetic. I could literally pull a middle school coach from the teams that are at the school I work at, and they could put together a better freaking game plan than what we did to watch this offense go 3 and out every single time. But in the second half, they looked better. Yeah, too late. Oh, on that last drive of the game, they picked up chunk yardage. Too late. Mark Pope. Doug Peterson couldn't scheme open a door. So sad we have to watch this offensive line ruin Trevor. What was the play in the end zone? Were they all going deep? If so, why? Like, okay. Here's what I'm talking about here. Like, let me find it here. Like, I'm sorry. I want to show you one thing here. I can't find it. I must have deleted it on accident. All right, here's back-to-back plays by Trevor Lawrence. I know you guys want to get Trevor Lawrence like off the hook here somehow. I don't want you to see me. These are back-to-back plays. Okay? Back-to-back plays. This is the first half. Heavy formation. Fine. You want Brenton Strange and Luke Farrell on the field? Sure. Fine. We went out and got Gabe Davis. We went out and got Brian Thomas Jr. We went out with got all these additions and weapons for Trevor Lawrence to be able to throw the ball. We're going to run heavy formation, which is fine. Like, I'm not against heavy formation. 2 tight end sets, Doug Peterson likes to do. That's fine. They're going to play action here. Okay, a little reverse. Okay. All right. So we're going to play action. Max protect. And you know what? You could even sell me on the fact that like the offensive line, like, again, you could play devil's advocate and say the offensive line couldn't block for Trevor, so we're going to put in 2 tight ends and protect him so he can drop back and pass the ball. Completely fine. Completely fine. They're going to have 7 guys in protection. Completely fine. I don't know who does what. They do some sort of post wheel concept. Okay. Very common concept in football. But the dice you're rolling here is when you go max protect, you only have 2 guys in motion. ETN does kind of go out in space here on a little fade route to the sideline. All right, we're in max protect here. Trevor Lawrence, first of all, guys, I am trying to keep my cool here. Like, I am trying to keep my cool. You have max protect, 2 tight ends to the offense's left. You run play action where Trevor has to turn to his right. When both of your freaking route concepts are on the right side of the field, and he's turning to his right, left side of the field. You're not even setting up Trevor for success here. Like, you're not even doing it. Like, it's ETN goes to the right, and you're setting up your play action to where Trevor has to turn to his left side of the field. He's blind. He's turning with a play action, and he is looking at nobody. This is not complicated. There's nobody here. Oh, let me just do a full baseball turn, and let me just hope that these 2 receivers are open. Oh, wait. Both of them are neither even looking at the receiver. Now, ideally, maybe this post route comes open. Oh, wait. There's a middle of the field safety here. Who's Trevor supposed to throw it here to? Please tell me who Trevor's supposed to throw it to. Like, tell me. You ran this post wheel concept where you play action to where he had to do a baseball turn and spend an extra second in the pocket. These guys aren't even looking at the ball. And who is he supposed to throw it here to? Oh, he's going to throw it to the guy that's covered. Should have been an interception. I get why Trevor was so mad in the press conference. Can you imagine being a quarterback and this is the play? This is the play that the offense calls for you. You're the quarterback and this is what the offensive coordinator calls for you, or the head coach, whoever the hell's calling plays. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, go in motion. Oh, wait, just kidding. Don't go in motion. We're going to trick them. We're going to make Trevor Lawrence spend 2 seconds in the pocket to throw it to nobody that's open. Now, if Trevor Lawrence has a bad play and his next throw is not good, but you're not setting him up for success when this is what you call for him. This is not. This is 100% play calling. Okay? The only justification you could make is maybe you thought you were going to catch the Browns in cover 2, and if you did catch them in cover 2, then this post route by freaking Gabe Davis would be open. But they're not in cover 2. And in fact, pre-snap, they show you cover 1. Next play is on Trevor. Like, I'll give you that. This is the very next play. I didn't even stop the recording. The very next play is on Trevor. Okay. So now, all right, let's go 10 personnel. We'll have 1 tight end, we think. Evan Ingram's not in the game. We don't know what the hell is going on. Trips bunched to the right. You got singled out Gabe Davis out here to the left. Gabe Davis, I think, does a good job here getting open on the out route. And honestly, I don't know what happens here. I'll play it out, then I'll rewind it. Now, it's a terrible throw. It's so bad, I don't know if this was an option route or not. Like, I don't know if this was like a option route where he could have gone vertical. or Trevor's just not good on this play. And look, Gabe Davis, watch Gabe Davis at the end of this play. Gabe Davis is visibly upset at the end of this play. Getting booed by your own fans might do that. Watch him. He's pissed. He's pissed. I'm backed up on comments. I don't care. I'm pissed. 20 minutes, 20 mil to Cam is like what Deshaun Watson did to the Browns. Tuning in from Alaska. He probably is, dude. This Seabreacher's been MIA. He's been absolutely MIA, dude. He better be in Alaska because I haven't heard from Seabreacher in like a month. Okay. If it wasn't for this live show where Seabreacher has come in and talked about his opinion on the Jags, I may have put out a missing person report on Seabreacher. So he better be in Alaska. We do have some good news, though, boys, because I'm a little riled up. As you can tell, I'm a little riled up. I'm a little fired up. But if there's one person that can bring me back down to earth, there's one person who can tell me everything's okay and the Jags will be fine. And he can just shine a glimmer of light on the Jags. It's my good friend, Travis Holmes.
If that is the expectations of me tonight, boy, oh boy, I'm sorry. I am the Grinch at this point, bro. This is not that cannot be my role for the day. Lord. When we talk about
here's my optimistic outlook. You ready for this? Are you ready for this? There's still 15 more games. We could, Travis, hear me out. We could run the table and go 15-2.
That is a factual statement. There are 15 games. Yes. I mean, don't let me be too crazy. I mean, you know I'm joking, but for you guys who don't know me that well, yes, I am only halfway joking. It is a defense mechanism that has been beaten to my brain by the history of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So yes, I have to have that joking mentality. But no, I am not happy with this team. I am not ecstatic about their performances, and I do not have confidence that they're going to figure it out, but I do have hope. I'll say that. The NFL is a week by week league. We've seen so often, it can just be matchup by matchup, strengths versus weaknesses, and we ran into a buzzsaw that of a defense. The style of defense that was played is the style of defense that this team has historically struggled with for the last 2 years under Doug Peterson. We know this objectively. I said it on the Duval Dive this past Wednesday that I thought that this game had the potential of becoming the Buccaneers game from 2023. And that's sort of what it looked like against a much worse team, but an equally dominant defense. The Jaguars offense couldn't do anything, and that stinks. But it's the same issues that we have then. It's the scheme, no matter the different players, versus that sort of aggressive press man defense, and they struggle to get off to do anything against it.
I have a question for you, Travis.
Yeah.
And before I ask it, I need you to just tell everyone where they can find you all the time. Tell everyone before I ask you this question. Go ahead and just tell everyone where they can find you, where your stuff is. Let it all out now, please.
You can find me at bigcatcountry.com and all the socials, Travis D. Holmes. I have a feeling I'm about to be kicked off for my reasonable statement that I just made a second ago. So just in case he kicks me off, you guys can find me, Travis D. Holmes, on all the socials, and bigcatcountry.com, where I will still give you some even keel Jacksonville Jaguars takes. I will, however, be wearing my "This Team Makes Me Drink" shirt tomorrow because I'm there. I am past there at this point. But yes, that's where you can.
So keep in mind, Travis has access to players and coaches. So just keep that in mind when I ask him this question. But this is an honest question, Travis, and I want you to answer from the bottom of your heart. Okay? Are we a poverty-ass franchise or not? Are we a poverty-ass franchise or are we not?
Is that a real question?
It's an
Yeah.
absolute question.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we've all. I mean, you see the meme with the astronaut when he's pointing the gun in the back of the other astronaut's head. Yeah, we've always has been. We stink until we don't. And the old words of the old BCC managing editor Alfie Crow, they're bad until they're not. That's always been the standard. Is the Jaguars are going to be bad until they're not. And even when they had the one good season, my logic always was I need to see it a second time to believe it. And then they end up losing the next season, 2018. And same thing with 2022. It's just we keep doing this thing of not being a consistent winning organization, and that's been under the entire tutelage of Shad Khan. Like that's just kind of what it is, and it comes from top down. They keep doing these half builds, these half rebuilds. We are a poverty franchise. Why? Because we're acting like we're a small market team, and we're one of 32 NFL football teams.
At the end there, you kind of got me.
You make poverty decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what poverty is. It's
Yeah.
not. They always say poverty is a mindset. Well, that's what we acted like a poverty NFL team. You're gonna get treated like one.
I honestly, I was ready to get a little emotional there about how I'm not gonna. My original thought until you said that last statement was like I'm not ready to blame Shad Khan because unlike other NFL owners, he's not involved. He gets people underneath him to make decisions. And obviously he's responsible for hiring those people. So he is responsible. But he's not these Jerry Jones, David Teppers,
absolutely
guys that come in and so it's like and he's forking out money. So like and he's keeping the team in Jacksonville. So like I am always very hesitant to blame Shad Khan.
I only blame Shad not knowing what he didn't know early in his ownership process, and because of that, we are still paying the prices for past sins. I don't blame today's Shad Khan. To be clear, is that better? I don't blame him today for his previous decisions, but his previous decisions are still impacting the team today because we're still stuck until we have a clear break in whether it's freaking Caldwell. Sorry, Dave Caldwell, to be clear. Whether it's Caldwell to Trent Baalke from Dave Marone to Urban Meyer to
Gene Smith. Yeah.
Gene Smith. I mean, we have this whole system where we keep just doing these half rebuilds, these half measures, and at the end of the day it always becomes someone being handcuffed to someone else's issues or someone else being handcuffed to someone else's mistakes. And so that is near impossible, as we kind of hearing in all the Jaguar socials about what's everything going on around Mason Smith, and whether that's Doug Peterson, whether that's Trent Baalke, all of this stuff that's going on is just one more guy being handcuffed to a previous mistake, we'll call it. I'm just going to say it's a mistake, and we're stuck with it. So it's bringing down the whole organization.
I'm going to put a pin in the Mason Smith thing because I actually do have a interesting thought / question about that, but I got to put a pin in that because I have to first give my opinion on Shad Khan, and then I'm going to get to some comments, and then I want to come back to this Mason Smith thing because I actually do think this is actually a bigger issue than I think we may realize.
Interesting. And I think we may land on both sides on different sides of the line on this, so I want to hear it.
Yeah. First of all, about Shad Khan, I can't find myself disagreeing with many decisions that he makes outside of holding on to people a bit too long. And hear me out. Okay, hear me out. He comes in year one, fires Mike Mularkey. I like that. Dude comes in, he's like, no, out. Fired Mike. You don't see head coaches last 1 year very often in franchises. Shad Khan bought the team. Mike Mularkey was the head coach. He had him for a year, fired him. I love that. Brought in Gus Bradley, not a great coach, fired him. I actually think hiring Tom Coughlin as the GM was actually the smart move at the time. When you think about where Tom Coughlin came from and his pedigree of winning championships with the Giants, I can actually understand that decision as a businessman. I can. Okay, it didn't work. Got rid of him. Then he brought in Urban Meyer, who, when we hired him, made sense. Dude had a winning pedigree, had a history of winning with multiple different teams and organizations. I actually and people forget Urban Meyer was very coveted when he was coming into the NFL. Very coveted. A lot of teams wanted Urban Meyer.
You skipped over a move though.
Oh,
You skipped over Trent
Doug
Baalke.
Marrone. He held on to Doug Marrone too long.
Well, you skipped over the Dave Caldwell to Trent Baalke
Okay,
transition.
yeah. And again, another thing with Doug Marrone is because remember they brought in Marrone to be the interim head coach for those couple of games, and it seemed like the team played a lot better. Doug Marrone had a lot of respect amongst NFL circles. So again, I actually wasn't against the Doug Marrone hiring. Did they hold on to a bit too long? I mean, he went to the 2017 AFC Championship game with Blake Bortles. So again, I get that. Urban Meyer, I get that. You fire Urban Meyer mid-season, which is what all the fans wanted.
Yeah.
Still doing good. And then he brought in Doug Peterson over Byron Leftwich, which I think was a good decision. So for me, it's hard to blame Shad Khan for making business decisions. Would you disagree with any of that?
I would disagree with portions of it, but overall, instance by instance, I don't disagree with the coaches overall. For the most part, I think there's a reasonable expectation. There's a reasonable logic behind most of those moves. I hate the processes for almost all of them.
That's fair.
And because like you can say, hey, I understood why we picked this coach. Yeah, but did you actually do a full investigative search into all the coaches, or did you just pick the guy you wanted and go with that guy? Like that's where I.
So is Urban Meyer the one that's coming to mind instantly with that? Urban Meyer,
that's the first one, yeah.
Right.
Because in reality, even with the Doug situation, we kind of all heard the rumors that Byron was originally offered the job and then they took it back because they didn't want to fire the GM. But again, that's my biggest issue. It's not who you picked as a coach or who you picked in this role. It's who did you pick to be paired up with this coach that later when things don't go right, now you have multiple different guys on different accords and you don't know where the actual problem lies, which is going to force you to blow it all up again later when you might actually have a solid coach now, but you won't know that because you just screwed this whole situation up by pairing them with someone who they're just not.
You're talking about Trent Baalke. You're talking about Trent Baalke.
I am talking about Trent Baalke.
You're talking about Trent Baalke, and I get it. It makes sense, and I think like if I could give Shad Khan one, and by one I mean a lot of negative points, it's holding on to Trent Baalke for so long because
it was hiring him in the first place. I don't have to go that far. Nobody else would have given him a GM job at that time.
And he was there for the Urban times. He's there for the Doug Peterson times. And what has been the common denominator through both of those is no winning.
Dude, there's a real life scenario where Trent Baalke might have an opportunity to hire a third NFL coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
There's no way. There's no way.
Sorry.
Listen. You probably missed my first. Sorry, I'm trying to get the Zen out. You probably missed the first 15 minutes before you got here. I was ranting. It was not good. Like I needed you to come on. I did. I needed you to come on. Like you coming on this live show was probably the best thing that happened to me and my reputation because I was going down a deep, dark path on this team. So thank you for coming on.
I had an hour of warm up. I was on the Cover One Under Review podcast with the Buffalo Bills, talking to them about previewing this upcoming game right beforehand. So I had an hour of cathartic just release of talking about everything that just pissed me off about this past week's game. That it helped me calm down a little bit in preparation for you. So I'm happy to be here to help walk you off that cliff.
That makes sense. I was working until about 8:30 p.m. I had to push the show to 9:30 because of that. And I knew when I hit live, things were not going to go well. And they have not gone well. I'll tell you that right now. Okay.
All right, so Woosah, let's talk about it. Let's get it off your chest. It's okay.
Yeah. Let me hit some of these comments because we got some comments here. We have a solid 125 watching the live show, which is I love.
Nice.
Let me hit some of these comments. When I say I'm backed up on comments, I've read 3. Okay, right, I've read 3, and I'm scrolling. I'll try to
be quiet and let you go through them. Yeah,
I'm still scrolling. There's hundreds of comments. If you're on YouTube Live, you can see them. If I missed your comment and it's good, type it again. I don't care. No one here cares. I want to see a good comment again, and we will try to be better about reading comments. One of the criticisms that I get when I go on, not criticisms, but one of the compliments I get when I go on other people's shows is they're like, well, Jags United interacts with this chat, and people like that. So I do want to attempt to do that, and I just want to formally apologize to everyone. I needed to get some things off my chest, and I'll actually take a second formal apology to say I still don't feel like everything's off my chest, so things are not looking good. But I will attempt here. We did have a super chat. Sea Breacher gave $5. Says I have a huge announcement to make, and that comment was like 15 minutes ago. So there's no telling if he's already made the announcement or not. I have no clue. But Sea Breacher, let me know. I'd love to see what it is. I don't think we have to. I really want to get to this Mason Smith thing, so I'm just going to fly through these. Are we making the playoffs? Okay. Yes or no, Travis? Really quick, yes or no?
Yes.
Cali Jag says, "Damn." 100 miles per hour says, "Ben Johnson going to turn Brian Thomas Jr. into a 2K wide." Ben Johnson. He's talking about Ben Johnson coming as the head coach.
I don't.
Hey, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go get Lane Kiffin. The Gators and the Jags can just compete for Lane Kiffin's services as an NFL head coach. Let's give him another shot. Oakland wasn't a fair shot. Let's give him another shot. Oh, he's going to be worse than Doug? He's going to be worse than Doug. Okay. All right, cool. That's what you were going to say?
I mean, let's not pretend there isn't worse than Doug. Doug is like the Kirk Cousins, like he's in that Kirk Cousins range of coach, if you know what I mean. Like, so
yeah, there's definitely worse than Doug, because when you look back at the last 10 games, there's a lot of coaches worse than Doug, right? How many coaches have lost 8 games out of the last 10?
Urban Meyer.
He's not coaching. He's doing Fox Saturday college
previous
football.
Coach, man.
He's living his best life. He's getting lap dances in Ohio bars. I may trade lives with him.
I'm just saying, man. Let's not pretend that there aren't worse options out there, man.
I mean, at least Urban Meyer won 1 game out of 11? That's not far. That's not far off.
Oh man.
I'm sorry. I gotta calm down, dude. All right. Prediction: Jags pull off 3 wins. Colts, Bears pass, then go on a 4-game losing streak. All right. I'm just scrolling down. Boys, I'm so sorry. I'm just scrolling down to the bottom. I'm telling you, there's hundreds of comments, and I super apologize. Just type it again if it's good. I'm just scrolling down to the bottom. I'm going to try to hit the channel members. I'm going to try to hit the super chats. Not trying to. Oh, I want to get Timmy Devils. I love Timmy Devil. He's a great commenter. Phil Rauscher and Doug P have said for 2 years that they like their O-line, hammering down on them and not being held suspensions. Okay, Travis, have you ever interviewed Phil Rauscher? Have you ever asked him a question?
Yes.
Okay, I only wanted to ask you that so that when I ask you this next question, everyone knows the context. If you were to ask him your next question, what would it be?
If I were to ask him my next question, what would it be? I mean, it's Lion season. This is coaches. For the most part, they'll give you the best coach speak answer that they can give you for the most part. I don't generally have questions that I believe that they're going to truthfully answer on this offensive line.
Okay, but if you were to ask him a question and you were to get a truthful answer out of him, and he took some serum where he had to tell the truth, what would you ask him?
Now we're talking. Hey, now we're talking. Who did you want in the last 2 drafts? Like, who did you actually want to be added to your organization? Because that's a subject of the conversation right now. I actually asked this question this morning on Travis D. Holmes on Twitter. I'm like, something didn't make sense, and it's just crawling up my back. Why is Phil Rauscher here? Why hasn't he been fired with the performance of the offensive line? And the only thing that seems to make sense is the rumors that Doug did want offensive line help for the past 2 seasons, and Trent didn't give it to him. It was literally the only thing that makes sense. I'm not firing this offensive line coach who I consider to be a good coach if you're not going to give me the tools to help build that line. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. And I'm not saying that that's true. It's just that's just connecting dots at that point.
Which leads me to my Mason Smith point. And we've come full circle. Does anything about the inactivity of Mason Smith in game 2 lead you to believe that the head coaches wanted a different position drafted in the second round or the first round than who they chose? Because not making your healthy second round pick active at all kind of seems like to me as a line in the sand. Okay, you're not going to give me my players. This is what I'm going to do to the guys you drafted. Did you get that sense at all? Because how the hell do you their justification was led better, played better in practice? That is not even believable. Do you think them not playing Mason Smith and not playing him, but not making him active at all was like a protest in these draft picks that Trent Baalke has made?
So I think that there is a zero. Let me rephrase. I almost said 0% chance, but I'm going to adjust that and say I think there's a 1% chance that that move was made without the buy-in of Ryan Nielsen. And I want to make sure I'm fair to all parties involved. I watched every single play from Mason Smith against Miami. I rewatched it.
I saw your
rewatched
tweet.
it.
Go on. Yeah.
And I'm going to send you the video after we're done here, Jason. I want you
I
to
saw
watch
your tweet,
Mason
but
Smith.
I wanted. That's why I wanted to ask you.
I want you to watch his performance in the run game against Miami, and there will be a few plays where you'll laugh. I'm 100% sure. I know how you look at film and how closely you look at it. There's a few plays where you're going to see it and you're going to be like, "Oh, dang, I see." There were some things that happened. So it got to the point where it's quite possible that they were just going to give in this Cleveland Browns game Mason, a 20%, a 15% snap rate in any case, because Miami's not a dominant O-line. Cleveland is. So are you doing your second round draft pick a favor if you're throwing him out there to a line that you expect him to get moved 6 gaps over on multiple run plays? You're actually doing a disservice to him at that point. So I can understand saying, hey man, Jeremiah Ledbetter, we saw him play last year. We know what he can do. Big E, he's earned the right on this roster. We've told you guys to go heavy on defensive line on this roster because we wanted to give these other. If we have a guy who struggled last week, give these other guys a shot. I don't see the problem with that. If you are the Ryan Nielsen guy who says these guys have to earn it, competition, and we're going to trade Gibson to another team because he can't stop the run. He's shown us who he is, Ryan Nielsen. I don't know that it could be related to this whole Doug Trent, whatever you want to call it, power struggle, if you want to call it that. But it could absolutely easily be all football related and just saying, hell no, you got to earn this. I know you're a rookie. Shop the system.
Okay, so let me rebuttal. Are you ready for this? You mentioned in your previous argument that you had moments of last game where the rookie had laughable plays. Isn't that what you said?
Yes.
Were there plays, not only this week and last season, where the interior of your offensive line and your tackles also had laughable plays?
All the time.
All the time. Thank you. And let me just tell you another question here. When you're looking at the players that you have on your team and you're looking at laughable plays, who would you rather train up to see if they can play better? A rookie that you just drafted or guys you've had seasons of experience of laughable play? Who would you rather give more snaps to?
Ooh. Are you asking me this as someone who coaches the offense, or are you talking about Ryan Nielsen?
I'm talking about as a GM or a head coach who's looking at players with laughable plays. Who would you rather see if they can change your mind and develop? Guys you've had season of laughable plays or guys with one game of laughable plays?
This is a trick question, and I don't like it. But
because you don't like your answer.
No.
You'd rather give the rookie.
It's not. No, it's not that, because I think that's the answer you want me to say, and I can't say that.
It's because it's the right answer. It's not what I want you to say. It's because it's the right answer.
Hear me out. I promise. Hear me out. Just let me say this one comment, and if you disagree, you disagree.
I do.
Okay.
I already do.
Oh no. I haven't even said it yet.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Ryan Nielsen was not here last season. If we go by your logic, Montaric Brown is not even playing in this game right now.
Okay.
Because that doesn't happen under Mike Caldwell. Ryan Nielsen has fresh eyes. He's coming in and he's saying, hey, this is what I view from what I've seen in my system, how they're going to run it. And this is what I need from these guys to run in this system.
Okay.
I'm not talking about Doug. I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm literally putting this at the feet of Ryan and saying, hey, what do you need for your defense if that's what you need? Because in Doug's press conference, when he's like, I went to the defensive staff, I conferred with them, we came to a conclusion of who was going to be on the roster. He didn't say I made this happen. We're saying that. That's what we're putting on
Okay.
Doug. And I'm saying, no,
Okay.
I believe that this is at the feet of Ryan Nielsen, and Doug's just taking all the fodder for it.
Okay, so that's a great answer. Great answer. But let me just go back to the original question, and I just need an answer from you. If you are a team and you are looking at a multitude of players with laughable plays, like you said in your first answer, who would you rather give you a second chance at not making laughable plays? Players with
Multiple
seasons
plays.
of laughable plays, or a guy with one game of laughable plays that you just drafted in
Multiple
the second round?
plays.
Who would you
Yes.
prefer to give a second chance to?
Sure. We'll go with Mason Smith, the rookie.
My last question in my rebuttal is this. Who is the head coach of this Jaguars football team? Is it Doug Peterson or Ryan Nielsen?
It might be Trent Baalke at this point. I don't know. But let's go with Doug.
The answer is Doug Peterson. So you've told me the head coach is Doug Peterson, who's an offensive mind. You've told me that if you've given two groups of sample sizes of who wants to give you a second look on film and a second shot and real game live bullets, you probably want to give it to the second round pick who has only had one game experience in live bullets. And then you've also told me that this team is predicated on their defense with Ryan Nielsen and stopping the run.
Yes.
All of that said, and you've told me that Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson may have had some odds in the past. So you're going to sit here and tell me that a offensive-minded head coach said we don't want a second-round pick who has only played in one game to show us any different on this defense and stopping the run? You're telling me that's totally justifiable?
I'm telling you that I'm not angry about this like everyone else is. I'm just being honest about this. Again, me looking at the film and me trying to say, okay, let me step back from the ledge as a fan of the team and let me just look at this analytically. I'm looking at the film. What does it show? Ooh, it doesn't show good stuff. Do you for sure know that he's going to get, 20%, 15% of the snaps? What are we talking about if that's the case? Like, that's something that we want to be angry about. But let's be clear about this. We would have irritation with this at the Jaguars won, but we would be so like we're frustrated because they lost. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100.
Yeah, but you
that's what
told
this
me,
is.
but you admitted in the first question that there was laughable plays with not only Mason Smith last week, but across the entire offensive line all of last season.
Yeah, but that's the offensive line. But
Exactly.
right now we're talking about the defensive line.
But the head coach is Doug Peterson. So you're telling me that a head coach with an offensive line whose bread and butter is the offense looked at his offensive line with laughable plays all season and looked at one second round pick with one game of laughable plays and said, you know what? I'm going to make this healthy scratch inactive second year player inactive because of one game of inactive plays. When I have an entire offensive line of laughable plays, when I wanted my GM to draft offensive linemen and he didn't. You're telling me there's no bad blood there. You said 1%.
Wait, so I'm not
you
going to
said
say there's
1%.
no bad blood there. So no black. No, I'm not going to say there's no bad blood there. That's a whole different conversation. That's two different
things. But you
things.
said there was a 1% chance that Doug Peterson didn't do that healthy scratch of Mason Smith because he wanted to try to kind of protest the draft picks and all of those things.
I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that. I'm being clear about this. And I know everybody else kind of seen the different tweets from the different people and all the conversation that's surrounding around that. I believe everything objectively that happened, but the intent on why it happened is the part where I'm just like, nah, that's a little different. Because again, we're talking about someone who we already know the staff, even from the reports that you guys are seeing from the underground places, are already saying he wasn't going to play a full snap count. He wasn't going to play even a lot because of how poorly he played. We knew that walking in because Cleveland was going to run the ball. If he struggled against a sorry run blocking team, he's going to struggle against a team that's running right at your face. I'm sorry, this is kind of what it is. So it's not doing him any service to do that. Yes, the optics don't look good, but who gives a damn about the optics if you're trying to win?
So my last question for you, and I'm going to end this Mason Smith conversation. Okay. You said that you look at the fact that Mason Smith wasn't going to play a bunch of snaps. I think you said 20%. And you said at the most 20% of the snaps because it wouldn't do him any service at all. Okay. And you look at that. So this is my last question. If you're a head coach and you look at the fact that you're not going to play Mason Smith for 20% of the snaps because it wouldn't do him a service, are you telling me right now that you look at Jeremiah Ledbetter and Big O, and you think they're going to play more than 20% of the snaps, and that's worth more than developing your second-round pick from last year. That's the decision you would make as a defensive coordinator, as a head coach.
We're not talking about the decision that I would make.
No,
we're talking about the decision that was made.
Actually, Travis, that's the last question of my rebuttal. What is that decision that you would make?
Well, you're weighing the pros and the cons, man. Like,
I'm not weighing the pros and the cons. I'm simply asking you to weigh the pros and the cons and tell us, all of the chat, all 221
people, damn well,
is
man.
That the decision you would make?
You know damn well I wouldn't bench the guy, but I probably would have given him the 20% snaps. Yes, I would have likely given him the 20% of the snaps, even if it would have hurt the team a little bit. But I understand why they did it, is my point. That's all it comes down to. But I do agree that, just because you're only doing it because of the opportunity cost. You're doing it because he was a second-round draft pick. He's a fourth-round draft pick. This isn't even a conversation. We're doing it because of where he was drafted, not who he was, or not what he put on film. And that's the point I was trying to make.
Well, we're not having the conversation about the fourth-round draft pick who was also inactive. So that's a great point. I'm glad you pointed out the obvious there, Travis, because we're not having this conversation about him. We're having this conversation about the second-round draft pick where you could have gotten insanely high value in an offensive lineman who could have came in and helped your offense, which leads me to my point, to jury, in your honor, the fact that I think there's some bad blood there, because if you would have drafted an offensive lineman with that second-round pick, I guarantee you I would bet my last dollar that second-round offensive lineman you drafted would have been active for this game.
And that's quite possible, man. I obviously can't prove it, but that's quite possible, man. But
Your honor, I rest my case.
I don't like this. I don't like this feeling, because I still don't know that I agree with it, but I understand the logic from both sides of this, man. I get it.
All right. I'm going to flash through these comments. You see have Jaguars in the chat. Well, look at that. This team is so confusing from top down. It's not confusing.
They are.
It's not confusing. They have talent and they're not being utilized properly.
They're not confusing. They're just bad. Yes.
Okay, Travis, let me show you this play here, because I already showed this play. And this absolutely blew my mind here, okay? And I have to show you, because I literally got so angry at this play. I need you to tell me that I saw something wrong here, okay? Hold on, let me find it. Okay. All right, hold on. I'm going to pull it up on the screen here. All right. We talked about, last time we talked, about how the Jags offensive line is so inept.
Yeah.
See my last point. That there may be plays where they do max protect and put two guys out in route concepts. That's a thing that teams do. It is. It's not like it's a bad play design or anything like that. What's blowing my mind is that on this play, they're going to max protect with two tight ends out to the left here. They're going to pre-snap motion Gabe Davis and bring him back. And then they're going to run a post wheel concept. Okay. This isn't a normal post, though. This is like a skinny post. So, like, both guys are, like, on, like, 1/3 of the field. Okay?
Okay.
They're going to play action Trevor this way, have him do a full baseball turn, and then look back at his route concepts here. I'm going to play it out and let you take a look here. Okay. So, we stop it here. Wait, let's go back. Like, I know Trevor knows where his receivers are going to be.
Yeah.
But look at what he has to do here. He has to fully turn and find his receivers who, look where they're at on the field. That's where they're at. And look where they put Trevor.
Interesting.
Like, maybe do the play action the other way, and so the Trevor's turning this way and put ETN out this way, right? That would make a little more sense, right?
Yeah.
But no. They do play action the other way. They put ETN out to the flat here, and they run a skinny post wheel concept out to this side.
Okay. This is odd, because I'm trying to understand the purpose of the play action in this individual play.
Exactly. I would understand it if you did it the other way. Like I just said, if you did it the other way and put ETN out this way, okay, now this safety might have to sit. Maybe this linebacker expands. Maybe he drops.
Right.
He's in man, so he's still going. But at least you have like a field side drop from this linebacker, right? You're
But
here.
there's nothing in the intermediate zone that you pulled the linebackers up, but there's nothing to attack that area
There's not.
that you just pulled the linebackers up on. So that's why I say I'm trying to understand the purpose of the play action in the scheme. In what are you looking for at that point?
And Trevor's got his eyes downfield, and and you're in max protect, and that's fine. Like, I get it. I'm a big advocate of max protect.
It's a shot play. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But you have two receivers who aren't even close to the end of their routes, even looking back. And Trevor's like, I got nobody even looking at me. Okay. And then again, I try to give the benefit of the doubt because he does end up throwing it to Gabe Davis. If he wants to throw this skinny post, he knows where he's supposed to be. Like, is there any scenario where this play call is even set up for success? Like, at all.
I only saw this. I saw the play, but I just thought, like, hey, man, they made a great play on the ball. Great. I never even looked at this from this angle to get I'm looking at it from the end zone angle, and I never even thought about this until just now. Lord, this concept gives you nothing. Everybody's just running straight.
Absolutely nothing. The only caveat, and again, I'm a critical thinker. The only way I'm thinking that this play call could be made is if whoever's calling the plays thought, okay, we're going to catch them in cover 2. That's the only scenario where I think this play could work.
They play cover 1 like 55% of the time.
If they're in cover 2, maybe this skinny post hits the middle of the field. But pre-snap, they are obviously not in cover 2.
What? Yes.
This is the type of play where it's like, dude, you didn't even set Trevor up for even a chance at success here. Like, he throws this ball because he has to. He has to.
Yeah. He's the closest option you really have for success, maybe going deep to BTJ, but reality, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. And like, it just blows my ever-living mind.
Dude, this is funny, man. I legitimately didn't know that this play looked like this. Like, again, my eyes are always just on Gabe and no separation there, but that's not really his game. I get it. Like, at least run him on the dig. Right. Yeah, at least run him on the dig. You can pull the safety. You can then try to go to BTJ down the sideline and make a decision. Cool. And you have the space to do it. You're not wrong for highlighting this play, because this is
this is terrible.
Yeah, air freshener is needed.
And like, I could have even been justified if you would, like I said at the beginning, if you would have ran this play action the other direction and squirted out to the flats, ETN here. Then at least if you do run the play action to this side, maybe you're holding this linebacker. Maybe now he's the force player. So now maybe you could run this dig underneath him.
Right. You stretching him horizontally. I got you.
I just can't with this, man.
Yeah.
I just can't. All right. Well, let's just stay on this bad Jags play here.
Sure.
All right. They're in shotgun. Little motion here. Okay, this is 3rd and 5. 3rd and 5. All right. Cover 1, obviously. Modern NFL. Could be 3, but probably 1. A little toss out to the side.
We got Ledbetter and we got Robertson Harris. All right.
Oh, yeah. Good thing Mason Smith's not here, because you know what happened if we had Mason Smith in the game? He'd get moved 6 gaps if we had Mason Smith in the game, and we wouldn't be able to stop this run. If Mason Smith was here, we wouldn't be able to stop this run. So good thing he's not in the game.
Ledbetter had it happen to him at least like 7 to 8 times in the game. I had it in my write-up on BigCatCountry.com. He didn't have much success, holding his gap or holding his gap integrity either. So no one did well, but it is what it is.
I feel like we look good here. We
look
good
not bad right now.
We got 1, 2, 3 unblocked people, 4 unblocked people. He's engaged. He's kind of trying to force it back in. He's unblocked. Hines Allen's definitely unblocked there. He's going to engage a block, but that's fine. So, all right, we're good here. Like the lineman
on the bottom right is peeking inside. He has, and that's right, that your guy right there. He's peeking inside, which leaves the guys who's trailing no real option. I'm assuming this is going to go around the sideline.
Yeah. Yep.
And that was the problem that I kept having with Ledbetter. And that's not Ledbetter. That's Allen, actually.
Yeah, it's Allen.
If he make a decision,
We got-
if your gap's there, stay outside and give your guys backside some direction on which gap to shoot. And that's the problem. As soon as his head's inside, it's a wrap.
My problem with this play is we just have no football players. We just have no football players. A good defense has a guy who's going to go make this play.
Right. That's a crap block by a receiver. I'm sorry, Josh. I love Josh, but you got to beat that.
You're getting blocked by a wide receiver.
And you can't get outside of him.
And the reason why I clipped this play is because it's like a microcosm is we could not get off the field on third down. We could not get off the field on third down. Like
9 minute, 7 minute, and 4 minute drives. All in the first half.
Hey, wait, I got a positive for you. You ready for this, Travis? You ready for this? Yeah. Check this out. Check this out. You ready? A Christian Kirk sighting. We have a Christian Kirk sighting. Take off the Amber Alert. Rescind it. We found him. He's alive. He's fine. Take out the Silver Alert. Christian Kirk is here. He's on the team. What a catch.
For -1 yard, man.
Great job, Christian Kirk. I'm glad you're still on the team. I kind of forgot about you since week 10 of last year, but you know what? This catch right here was good. Great job, Christian.
It would have been better if you dropped it.
It would have been better if he dropped it.
He lost a yard on his one-handed catch, and I'm not blaming him. It is what it is, man. And Gabe Davis one-on-one on a defensive end is probably not great. Not what you want to be doing. Gabe left a few plays on the field. I'm just going to keep it 100. Gabe left a few plays blocking wise on the field.
Are you trying to wait? Are you trying to tell me one-on-one Gabe Davis versus Myles Garrett is not a good strategy?
I think that you could plan that a little better. Sure.
Wait, hold on. I'm a little confused here. You're telling me as an offensive coordinator, Gabe Davis on Myles Garrett isn't a good matchup?
You may as well have him do a naked boot at this point, because that's the same kind of resistance you're gonna get.
I cannot with this. Dude. And here's the problem. People are like so quick to blame. They want to blame Press Taylor. This falls under Doug Peterson.
Right, but people don't know that.
People don't know. Like, if you and this is what Jags fans don't want to swallow. If you fire Press Taylor, this same play call is getting played. This same exact play call is getting played regardless of Press Taylor or Doug Peterson. And Jags fans, for some reason, looking for a scapegoat. Let's fire Press Taylor.
That's it. That's all it is. It's a scapegoat mentality. Like, people don't want to have the hard conversations because it's easier just to say at least someone got fired, and then we'll feel better that week.
I mean, what do you think the shit's rolled downhill to Phil Rauscher? Like,
that's fair.
Let's get to some of these comments.
Everybody went ahead.
Let's get to some of these comments.
Let's go. Let's get to let's let you guys got a vent too.
Yeah. All right. Listen, you know what? For the next few minutes, I'm not going to talk about the Jags. I mean, it's either going to be the comments or Travis. Okay. I can't do it anymore. I just can't. I have my blood pressure. I went to the doctor. I mean, I go to the doctor like once every 10 years. I went like a year ago. You know what they told me? I have perfect blood pressure. They literally said those exact words. I'm not trying to flex on anybody. Said I had perfect blood pressure. I'm not a stressed out guy. If you were to take my blood pressure right now after watching this film, I may be on the verge of dying. So I am not going to comment for the next few minutes. I need to let my blood pressure come down. This is between the chat and Travis. Ventrell's slow to react on that play. Why is Foye ever out of the game? Travis, what do you say to that?
Hey, man, that's what Nielsen does. Even everybody in Atlanta says the same thing. He rotates his linebackers. He rotates his defensive line. It's just what he does. I have no real answer there.
Timmy Devil says, yeah, Muma, Lloyd, and Abdullah on that play.
He wants to give these guys snaps, I guess. He wants to develop and
But
keep
not Mason Smith. We don't want to develop Mason Smith and give him snaps. Not him. No, not
yeah,
Mason Smith.
it may be a slower development. That's all. I knew that was gonna get to you, bro. It is what it is, man. I can't answer for someone else. I can just tell you what I think they may be thinking.
Effing receiver got all up in Josh's outside shoulder. Do you think that was a bad route concept on that little? I mean, I think ideally you wanted that post route ran a little less skinny, but I don't think that would have changed the result of the play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. It is what it is. I don't understand the logic of the play, so it was a bad play, especially for that time of. I mean, if that's your best play, then get a better playbook. I don't know.
I'm not commenting. All right, here's a positive. Thoughts on Buster Brown's performance?
My guy.
You were right about that. You know what? I'll give you that. I'll give you your flowers on that because I was a little hesitant, and you were right. I feel like in this scheme, he has been nothing but excellent, and you called that.
Yeah, and he will have his struggles when he plays those smaller, faster receivers because that's not generally his game. He's going to have to get his hands on them, but for the most part, he's more times than not, he's going to give you that physical play. I mean, he had a great game, 11 tackles, all of them solo, which I thought was just crazy. And yeah, he had the one pass breakup, one tackle for a loss on the running back. Like, I mean, again, that's everything you can ask for from a defensive back stepping in for your cornerback one who just went on IR. Hey, man, great job, Buster.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Any inclination to potentially give Buster Brown some more snaps over Ronald Darby? Honest question.
I don't think that would happen.
You don't think it'll happen, but if you're the DC.
I mean, again, Nielsen is that guy. Like, as much as people laugh when I say it, and I've said it from day one, he is truly that guy who says compete, earn it. Like, Tyson Campbell getting the cornerback one spot was because he truly earned it. Like, I do believe that. And I do believe the same thing for Ronald Darby. I'm just being real with you because I'm at practice telling people I did not believe that. Well, let me phrase it. I did not have full confidence that Tyson was going to be good in this scheme. Like, I wanted to see it before I believed it. Let me say it that way. And then I saw it and I'm like, oh yeah, he's going to win the spot because you can just see how he's performing. I would say the same thing for Ronald Darby. Darby had a great camp. Darby, like he really did do well in the offseason. So I think it will take a lot of mistakes in the season before that starts to become a real conversation. Even though Montaric Brown is playing well, I think it will take some time to truly get to a point where we're having a conversation about Darby being, playing behind Montaric.
All right, so you brought up Andre Cisco. Let me just bring up this play here. Andre Cisco rolled down into your coverage strong safety.
He's not had a good go of it these last 2 weeks.
How do you explain that, Travis? Former DB. How do you explain this play right here?
That is a guy not wrapping up, trying to take someone's head off, and Jarian, I don't even know, just not continuing to play. So both of them just not locked in, man. That's what it comes down to.
I was appalled at this play on film.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about Cisco right now, and he had like 3 plays where I was just like, ugh, like I didn't like that. Like I didn't like the performance. And he didn't have any, he didn't have a pass breakup or anything else along those lines. So from a DB perspective, it wasn't a great day for him. And also the other guy in that photo, or the other guy on the screen, Jarian, also didn't have a good game. I mean, he gave up 3 catches. Should have given up the 4th to Amari Cooper on the corner route that he just dropped, that he's open like
dang
by
it,
5
I had
yards.
that clipped. Dang it, you spoiled it. You spoiled
I'm sorry.
I had that clip.
It just overall, Jarian didn't have the best day either. Yeah, not what you want again with your number 1 corner out, but he's going to get more reps. I mean, you got Shakir from the Bills, another little fast receiver option, a lot like Judy, on deck. So I'm kind of curious to see what Nixon's going to do with that.
Here's what I did like. The only part of this play I liked, Andre Cisco takes responsibility. I did like that.
Sure,
I mean, look at him. He taps his chest. He says, "That's on me." Watch.
bro.
He said, "It's on me."
I'm here for all the positives, and that's an
a reach.
admirable
That's a reach. But
attempt at a positive. But I'm like, this is a grown man who was a millionaire saying my fault. If you give a tap on the back like that for that, man, you sound like my wife at this point. Like, hey, man, I can't just really we're giving passing the back because you said I'm sorry. Like, is that where we are right now? Is that the level of Lord?
I'm trying to find positives, Travis. I'm trying to find positives.
Wow.
I tell youth athletes all the time when they're like, "Oh, my bad," or "I'm sorry." I'm like, I don't want you to be sorry. I want you to do the right thing. Like, I don't
I
care.
teach my son and my daughter that.
I don't care that you're sorry.
Don't be sorry. Be better.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Do
it.
the right thing. All right, another one. You talked about Buster Brown not getting snaps over Darby. Do you think Buster Brown makes this play that Ronald Darby does not?
Oh, the freaking dropped interception. Oh no. This is it. This is it. Okay, cool.
Does Buster Brown make that play?
Freaking probably. I think Ronald Darby makes that play more times than not.
He did it.
Day, man.
He did not make it. I hate to tell you. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Travis, but he did not make the play.
I'm not that guy, man. I can't just go be out here just shitting on everybody. Like, come on. Like, I want to be real about this. We all have that day. We do. We all have that day. We all have those plays that you just wish you could have them back. It is what it is. I'm not going to be out here like defending bad play or defending, subpar effort, but it is what it is.
I'll concede that one to you. All right, I'll concede that one to you. That's fair. That's a fair assessment. We all have bad days. I did cherry pick one play. I'll give you that. I won't harp on that.
I don't know that he had a bad day overall, but there was a bad freaking play and we needed it.
We needed that one. But yeah. and like I guess the reason why I clipped it is because to me it's like good players make good plays at the right time. Like that's what differentiates I think elite players is they make that play because we needed that.
That's true. But we needed it so much because the margins are so freaking small for this team.
Someone just said even the water boys spill the water. We got to go back and watch this. Hold on. Hold on. This might be the best comment here.
Oh man.
Wait, I might have missed it because I didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even see the water boy. Let's look at it from this angle.
Imagine having that pocket presence and that throw on the run. I didn't see it. Yeah, I did see Devin Duvernay. Devin Duvernay is like, come on. Even Devin Duvernay's pissed. Watch this on the sidelines. So watch my boy Devin. My boy Devin. He's going to give you a, oh no. This is what all Jags fans are feeling in this moment right now.
We are
all of us are like, Duvernay. What are we doing?
We are all Devin Duvernay. And you want to know the worst part about all this? I mean, how this first half went is that I don't think that there is anything that I would have done different than the team. Like, I don't think they made any changes at halftime. I think it was just guys man in the cup. Yeah. And stop getting beat up, stop getting pushed around. And I honestly, and they were like, oh yeah, we are better than them. Cool, let's go and play ball. And that's all it was, which kind of sucks.
And that was kind of like what I was saying earlier when I was like, the defense just like couldn't get off the field because I was trying to find plays that the defense was bad to clip on those long drives. And it wasn't anything like terrible. It was just like they were like death by 1,000 stabs. Just like they were executing and we weren't. And it
always came down to these 4th down conversions, 3rd down conversions. They were just picking up. They were happy with 3 yards.
But that was my original point that I made at the very beginning. That's like I had no plays to clip. But I had that exact same thought last year on that losing streak. I was like, there's
Mm.
nothing here that's like terrible, but we just can't get off the field and we just can't make the play when it matters. And that's the exact same thing on that losing streak last year. I
Yeah.
had those exact same thoughts. It's like they're just driving on us 3 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, penalty, penalty, 3 yards. And it was like, that's what was happening last year. So when you look at this losing streak on a continuum of last year and this year, nothing has changed. And that's my
Ooh.
biggest gripe is that like we're still sitting here saying the same thing.
So I would argue that it has changed, but I would just argue, like I would argue, at least if you're talking specifically defensively, I would argue that it has changed because this defense is a little bit different, where they their goal is to have that bend but don't break defense. Their goal is to be aggressive, but if they give up a catch, they're gonna rally and tackle you. They want you to complete the short stuff, rally, tackle. You get to red zone, we hold you to a field goal. That's still a victory. We're gonna hold you to less than 21 points because that's a victory in the NFL. That's for the most part the goal. And I think they've achieved that goal 2 weeks in a row, even if they lost both games, because your offense is, it's worse than a high school offense, unfortunately.
I can't get on board with that. And
Okay.
and here's why. I get the bend but don't break. That was Gus Bradley's thing, right? The bend but don't break. Like
Sure.
and listen, there's a lot of validity to that as a defensive coach. There's a lot of validity to that. But what you can't do with that philosophy is continually give up insanely differential of time of possession. And so maybe
Agreed.
that's the offense's fault, but like you can't just give up. The entire first half was Cleveland on offense.
Oh, agreed. Oh, no, absolutely. But the offense couldn't move at all, so they only got a 5-play drive and a 3-play drive
Well, they have
in like
11
first
yards. We
quarter.
talked. Okay, I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing up the
Yeah, he
picture
was
again.
like 5 of 11 for 16 yards or
No,
something like that
wait,
at
everybody.
halftime.
Wait, everybody. This is Travis and me at the game. This is Travis and me just chilling at the game. And we had the conversation. We looked at the stats and we were like, we have 11 passing yards
Yeah.
at halftime.
Yeah. But that's because we had only had the ball 3 series
Exactly.
and ran the ball for the field goal drive. And it's just like, well, what do you do when your defense keeps getting the third down and giving up the third down conversion, keeps getting the fourth down multiple times and giving up the fourth down conversion because Cleveland is happy rushing for 3 yards to 4 yards, and they just keep doing that over and over again. It's old school Georgia Tech wing T football, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and they're happy about it. That's a hard one when this is a Jacksonville Jaguars team who knowingly came into the season without a run stopper on the roster, a dedicated run stopper. Like, we knew that was going to be Roy Robertson Harris or
Javon Hamilton
Jefferson,
didn't play
or
bad.
Jefferson, but he's not a run stopper. He's he's kind of in between. He's a little bit mixture of both, but that wasn't what he was like known for. Like, that was mainly Roy Robertson Harris, and that's why they drafted Jefferson. That was literally the only thing Jefferson was known for, is stopping the run, and he's been inactive for the first 2 weeks.
Imagine that.
So they go heavy on defensive line on the roster.
No, we got Big O and Ledbetter. We're good. We're fine. I don't think we need to worry about that because we got 2 juggernauts in Ledbetter and Big
That's
O.
That's why they played him, obviously.
Yeah,
over the rookie.
All right, let's break down this picture here. Travis has obviously been doing arms in the gym. I mean, my man's been doing some bicep curls.
No,
been doing some bicep curls here. He's got the nice watch on. He opted for the pants in the humid weather, which I think we could equally give some problems to as Press Taylor, but you were in the press box, so there has to be a sense of professionalism, I'm guessing, was the reason behind the pants.
Thank you. I don't have to deal with the elements like that. I'm just out there. I'm only out here sweating to see you. That's it. And I'm back to the press box, back to the AC.
I like it. Hey, listen, I got nothing but good things to say about the fit. I got called out for the Zens in the front pocket. I had to go ahead and the wristband is not a wristband by choice. This was my tailgate. I know it looks like I wear fashionable bracelets. I do not wear fashionable bracelets. I had to wear it,
Mm.
cut it off because it was like scissors only. We got the background. We got Browns fans. The reason why I was standing here is because there was a drink beverage cart right here to our close immediate right here. So that's why that was our meeting point there. But and I'll claim till the day I die this is a water drink, and that's all that was in there. That's what I'll claim till the day I die.
Oh, man. Okay.
But thank you, Jagger, for saying it was a great picture. Timmy Devil says the defense is better than bend but don't break, in my opinion.
It was in the second half. It wasn't in the first half. That's the only reason I call it that. I think the defense in the second half is what they expected it to be the entire game. They just weren't themselves. They had a Snickers moment, and then they figured it out. And yeah, that was fine. So I would agree with you, Timmy Devil 999.
Chef Florida Boy says can't win when the Browns had the ball the entire first half. I would say
first half. Yeah. It was like
Rod
20
says
20 to 9.
You'd see us pile up and look like we're stopping the run at yard 1, and then it'd go for 3 or 4 instead. Just porous.
That's it. That is it.
This team just feels disjointed. Doug and the offensive staff's ideology doesn't complement the way Nielsen wants to play defense. Trent refuses to give either adequate players.
So in my Big Cat Country write-up after my notes after rewatching the game, I said specifically that it feels like this Jacksonville Jaguars team is trying their best to be the 2023 Atlanta Falcons in every way. Between Ryan Nielsen's defense, between trying to be 3 yards in a cloud of dust on offense, and that's what they want to be, just be this super efficient or inefficient, however you want to look at it, offense. In every way, it feels like they're trying to win these low-scoring, winning at the end on the margins kind of game, and I don't understand it. I don't like it. I don't understand it because that's not even what we saw in the preseason and in practice when they were trying to install this. So I don't know what the logic is, but they got to figure this out, man, because it's rough.
I'm going to disagree with Timmy Devil here because I love disagreeing with Timmy Devil. He's one of my favorite contrarians in the chat. He says, I told y'all Hamilton was garbage. Haven't seen anything from him. I've hated that contract. Okay. I'm a big Hamilton guy. Okay. I actually am. I think he's a good player. He obviously had the injury. I do like this play here.
I was just about to say he had a solid game. I don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, I thought he had a great game. Devon Hamilton here. And when we see from the end zone, we see the more effort that leads to the production here, but we'll watch it from both angles here. He's obviously in the shade technique here. He's going to engage the block, recognize the screen, get out, and then make the tackle. This is like what we need because teams killed us on the screen last year. And I talked about Jerome Ford getting the ball in space was going to be Cleveland's strategy. And honestly, the Jags did shut that down, which is why I think it led to a decrease in points by the Browns. Obviously, they held the ball for a long time. But, I mean, this was a great play by Devon Hamilton. Watch him here. He engages the block, finds the screen, and goes and gets it.
Right. And Timmy Devil, I agree with Jason on this one. I disagree. I actually do like Hamilton. I thought he had a solid game. And if you're praising Josh Allen for his sack, you're probably praising. You know where I'm going. You know where I'm going.
Don't say anything yet.
I got
Travis.
You. But Devon Hamilton played 38% of the snaps in this game. So he didn't play like he was the second lowest of the team. And
he's
I thought he
playing
did really well in the limited snaps.
And he's playing that center shade, which I don't know if we have anyone else who can do that. Arik Armstead was brought in. Well, he's out here in the 7 technique. So you tell me why Arik Armstead. So, So watch Devon Hamilton here again. Again, another great play. And it was good timing for this play, too, because they were driving the ball.
Here we go.
He bullies the center. Absolutely bullies him.
Allen gets the sack, but that sack only happens because Watson has nowhere to step up to because Devon Hamilton is in his lap.
It's the guard he bullies now that I look at it here, but like bullies. Yeah, nice try, bud. And the interior of the Browns offensive line is like their strength. Their tackles were what were weak. That's Joel Bitonio. That's a good left guard right there. So I'm with you. I think I think Devon Hamilton is slowly coming back into form, and that's the
Right.
best thing that could happen for the Jags
Right.
D-line.
They're just giving him minimal snaps. They're trying to ramp him up, and you can't blame him for you not seeing him as often. And then you look back after the game, and he only had, again, 27 snaps. How many of those were even pass plays, which is one of his bigger strengths? Come on, man.
We have a comment from Carson Shack, and he's not only a channel member, but he's also currently lobbying me up a great alley-oop right now. If you kind of can read between the lines there. So we got to pay a little respects to Carson Shack here. He says, our defense is really solid, but if our team continues in this direction, we will be terrible by the end of the season. If offense can't create drives and get defense off the field, we are toast.
I mean, that's facts. And that's football 101. So hopefully the offense can do something. Or just score quickly. Either one.
What is it like? Again, this is I'm beating a dead horse here. What is it about this Jaguars and specifically this Doug Peterson offense that can't get their shit together in the first half? Why is that happening?
Happy you asked this. Well, I don't know if it's first half related. Well, all right. So I just had, again, I was just on a different podcast which had an hour 15 minutes to explain things in great detail. And one of the points that I brought up was, it feels like this offense is purposefully created to be efficient, like consistently inefficient. And what I mean is, you have an offense that is made to be simple for a backup quarterback, because Doug Peterson, backup quarterback, former
I didn't
quarterback
even
and
think
head
about
coach.
that. I have never even thought about that, and I hate that you even put that in my mind, Travis. I
Well,
hate
I'm
you
sorry,
for
it
that.
is what it is. Well, because it's a playbook that's going to work well for a Nick Foles if he has to come in and take the team to a Super Bowl. So it's very easy. I'm going to take what's there. I'm going to follow the playbook, and if it's a 5-yard play, I'm going to give it to this guy, and we're going to be efficient in running the ball, playing good defense, and moving down the field. Well, that kind of, I guess I'll call it low variance offense, then leads you to have to be good on third downs. You have to be good in red zone. You have to be consistently efficient. And if you're not, if you struggle in one of those areas like red zone, or if you struggle in the third down conversions, you've turned that into a punt. You've turned that into, like, you're a bad team, because everything's on the margins and everything has to be done well. And you're putting it on your quarterback to be really dang good. So it only works if you have a magician like a Josh Allen or a Pat Mahomes. And if you don't, then it becomes a team that's just, oh man, they're so good, but they just can't get it right. Why? Oh, because they have to be freaking perfect. Like, that's what it comes down to. And I feel like that's the scheme.
And that's what your backup quarterback does, is he plays to not lose and takes what's there and doesn't look for the big shot, because there is no
Correct.
big shot like
But
the play we
Trevor
saw at the
wants
beginning.
That's it. Because Trevor wants to go
Damn it,
for the big
Travis.
shot.
I got to take a picture so I know what time this is time stamped, because this may be the clip that goes viral on Twitter for Jags fans, because that may be the most. And to be fair, I'm a football guy. I never once thought about that. I never once. You bring up a great point. Nick Foles was how he won the Super Bowl. He was a backup quarterback. This offense seems like it's better fit for Mac Jones than it is for Trevor Lawrence.
And you would never think to say that out loud. If you said that before the season, someone would call you crazy. But he wants a guy who's going to run his system, because that's what it is. This isn't an offense that's made for Trevor Lawrence. This is an offense that's made for a guy who's going to run my system in the way. Hey, man, throw it to this guy. He runs a stick route. Give it to him right there. Or it's not Trevor's offense. It's Doug's offense, and I need you to run it, Trevor. And the only time that you see this offense take off, and that's consistently since 2020, is when they're down by 10 plus points, and all of a sudden Trevor Lawrence is running no huddle. That's not the quarterback coach in his ear giving him the play. That's Trevor saying, I got this. Now let me come back. And the defensive coordinator don't know what to do.
My mind is blown
That's
right now.
consistently happening.
My mind is blown right now, because additionally to your argument, and I'll add to it, the biggest criticism that we always make of Trevor is that he defers the easy pass and tries to make the deep down throw pass, which is what Trevor does.
Correct. And what Doug wants is the easy pass over and over and over.
My mind's blown right now.
You have philosophical differences, which normally leads to divorces.
My mind's blown right now. My mind is absolutely blown right now. All right. Well done, Travis. Well done. There's very often where I will say that there was a football vantage point that I didn't think of and is accurate. That may be the most my mind's ever been blown. Good job. Maybe you guys should watch Travis Holmes when he does his YouTube shows and when he writes articles. Maybe you guys can also get a little bit of this mind blowing there. You can find him on the Duval Dive podcast. You can find him on Big Cat Country, and you can find him in the Sky Patio at Jags games sometimes if you're diligent enough. All right, let's see here. Mac Jones will appear. Honestly, like I hate to say it, like would Mac Jones run this offense better than Trevor Lawrence?
Ask it. And like, what would happen around the nation if that occurred? Lord,
I mean, Trevor Lawrence is clearly the better quarterback, but like,
of course,
for this system, would Gardner Minshew not be the greatest quarterback in this system of all time?
That's such a wild comment, and it's things that I have to at least acknowledge it. There's not a 0% chance that that's not true. Like
I mean, regardless of the quarterback, if your left guard can't block on a pass play in the end zone, you're still going to get a safety. I guess that doesn't matter who your quarterback is. So.
And that goes back to what we told folks in camp, and people were pissed at me. People were pissed at Shipley. People were pissed at everybody who mentioned it. John Shipley with sports, Jaguars on that side. That when we mentioned the fact that BTJ kept having all these highlight plays in camp and joint practices against the Bucs, but we were like, but honestly, 6 or 7 of those big plays would have been sacks because they were killing them. And then we see the big sack on the end zone, and we're like, dude, what did we tell you? The play's there if he has time to get it off, but he's never going to have time to get it off with this offense. So it's like the scheme is fine if you had the players on that play, but you're never going to have the players because they are who they are.
I'm not a big "I told you so" guy, because we've talked about this. People that say, okay, and this is just for the commenters that are here. We have 429 people watching. This is just for the people that are watching. If anyone ever tells you to reflect back on a good take that they had, you should immediately put up a red flag, because anyone that's real will tell you for every "I told you so," they had I was wrong about that. So anyone that comes out and says, "I told you so," do not listen to them. They're clickbaiters. They're trying to get whatever. So just a little fun fact. That's your life lesson for the show. I did harp on the offensive line for years, and it is what it is. But I was wrong about a lot of things. I was wrong about Buster Brown. I was wrong about a couple other things. And one thing that I'm like kind of not sure if I'm right or wrong about is Tank Bigsby. And I'm gonna Travis, I'm gonna prove you with some evidence here that I don't think you've thought about. Okay. You ready for this? So everyone's really big on Tank Bigsby right now. Okay. And rightfully so. I get it. He's been playing well. He hits the hole, I think, more aggressive than Travis Etienne does at the moment. But there was a change in the game at some point where we stopped seeing Tank Bigsby get carries. And to me, I was like, something's weird here. And I didn't think about it until I went.
In this game?
Yes. We saw. So when you look at the split from the Dolphins game, it was 50-50 Etienne Bigsby.
Yes.
This game, what was the split? It was like way more Etienne.
Tank didn't get one carry this game.
Exactly. And here's why. Are you ready for this? And here's why it didn't get reported by insiders like Travis D. Holmes, is because they don't report on plays that don't count. And here's my evidence right here. My main point about Tank Bigsby was the coaches didn't like him because he couldn't hold on to the football. And I said, I'm all on board for Tank Bigsby, but I have got to see him hold on to the football when live bullets happen. Let me show you a kick return that didn't count because of a penalty. Okay. All right. I'm going to show you here right now. Kick return. First of all, with a team with Parker Washington and Devin Duvernay and all these guys, why you have Tank Bigsby returning kicks, not my place to say. But they had Tank Bigsby returning kicks. You can't see it right now because we're in your film. Right now you can see it. That's Tank Bigsby returning the kick. Now what you'll notice is, here in a second, okay, here's where I want to draw your attention. a flag is thrown right here by the ref. Offsides on the kickoff team. Play doesn't count. Media won't report it. Media like Travis D. Holmes will not report this play because it didn't count.
Hey, calm down.
Sorry.
I reported it. I did report it on BigCatCountry.com.
Media, unlike Travis D. Holmes, won't report this. Okay. But here's why you're not seeing Tank Bigsby getting the snaps. Okay. Play didn't count, didn't go on the stat sheet, coughed up the football. This play would have been massive against us if this play would have counted. Luckily for us, one of the Browns players had their foot slightly off sides, and this play doesn't go down in the record books. But your boy...
But this play did happen in the second quarter, correct?
Yes.
And at that time, the Jaguars had already had 2 full series that Tank didn't have 1 carry in, despite the fact that he had such a great game against Miami.
But both of those 2 series had how many plays combined?
I believe
6
plays, 8 offensive plays.
8 offensive plays. So you can't really blame them for that because
I just thought it was interesting.
I mean, 4 of them were probably passes. So you had 4 carries. But this is why. This guy still hasn't shown he can hold on to the football.
Whew.
He just hasn't shown it. And I know as fans that look at the stat sheets and they see the fumbles at the end of the game, Tank Bigsby doesn't have one. But when you're a coach and you're depending on these guys to hold on to the football, this guy still hasn't shown he can hold on to the football.
But he's only going to be able to show you in the attempts, basically. And I know this is obviously, but that's a hell of a hit, bro.
Listen, that was the caveat I was
hell of a hit.
Okay, listen, I was going to say that.
Got hurt.
I was going to say that. That was a hell of a hit. That was a hell of a hit. I will give you that. But in the NFL,
it was a hell of a hit that he also got hurt.
I mean, hey,
bro, he is helicoptering.
I mean, feel free. All right, feel free. I don't know who this is. I think it's this guy right here, whoever this is, Tim Jones, who had a terrible game on special teams.
He really
and again,
did, boy.
This didn't even go on the official special team stat sheet. Tim Jones, feel free to block somebody. Okay. And that Tim Jones retaining on the 53 man is looking worse and worse by the week.
That's actually a fair point, though. Why is nobody on that guy at all? You're in punt return setup, which means you're right in front of the guy. You line up in front of him. So there's no reason someone should just be running free without being touched.
It looks like it was more Luke Farrell's fault.
Or was it a trap block?
Tim Jones could have made the block. It looks like it definitely was more on Luke Farrell. If we like play it back, let's see. He's right here.
All right.
Yeah, that's on Luke Farrell.
Jeez, just put your hands out, man.
Like, hey, it's the NFL. Feel free to hit a guy. Feel free to hit a guy. You know, I'm just gonna put it out there.
Right.
But like, yeah, that's
Oof.
But again,
but Doug said he was good enough to come back. He just didn't. They didn't bring him back into the game. They were being cautious with him, or whatever. So at least for next week's purposes, we'll see how they really feel about him.
I'm just saying, everyone that's on this Tank Bigsby, again, I'm not an I told you so guy, but like, I got to see this guy hold on to the football.
I still believe in Tank, though. I still believe in Tank under the new running back coach, Jerry Mack. Like, I do feel like that both of them have been breaking a lot of tackles with a rough offensive line. Like, in both games, both running backs had more yards after contact than they had total yards. Tank in week 1, ETN in week 2. That is insane. That obviously means your offensive line is struggling, but both running backs are doing some they're doing some heavy lifting.
Timmy Dillon says my brain is cooked. Chase says Tank got hurt there.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, he did.
He did. I mean, that's a big hit. I mean, listen, and that's what I was going to say. I did want to mention that was a massive hit. Like, would I have held on to that football? No. I probably wouldn't have caught that football on the kick return. So who am I to say? But I'm not talking about it from me playing the NFL. I'm talking about it from the coach's philosophy of I can't put a guy on the field if they can't hold on to the football. Is all I'm saying. Hurricane back at the end. Hit stick from hell. Says Nasir Premier.
Nasir.
Johnson did come in and run good. He did. He did.
Johnson's always been solid, man. He just never gets to run.
No, yeah. Tim freaking Jones, yeah, he could have made a play there if he wanted to. More slander
Two missed
material.
tackles and a missed block.
Parker fumbled a return last week. True. Yeah, that's a good point.
He did.
Good point.
Got it back barely.
Yeah. Johnson came in and screwed up the touchdown, though, so there's that.
That's true. We don't give Johnson any kind of smoke for that. Like
he shouldn't be on the field.
Changing.
Hey, good thing we drafted Keelan Robinson. Great draft pick. Good thing we took a running back.
He's on IR, and he was, you can't blame that.
You know what I can blame is drafting a running back when you need offensive line. That's what I can blame. How about that?
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Fair?
Now we're giving all the right smoke.
He didn't have to return that. It was a split-second bad decision. Maybe Tank noticed the flag and knew the play wouldn't count. Wow, it's a big brain right there. Maybe he was just like I'm gonna just lateral it because it's a flag. Maybe
I had to mute myself when I saw that comment because that just made me laugh.
Devin is the closest to Agnew.
Yeah. They're not even using him as a receiver right now, which I thought was just weird. I thought they use him at least ever so often, but no.
Show the 2 burnt timeouts.
It happened. Bad clock management. I don't know.
There's one thing coaches can control. It's their clock management. You can't put that on the GM. You can't, even if your players don't get to the line of scrimmage and can't get a playoff, and we had to delay the game at a bag time. It's on the coaches. There's no, even if you could find a way to blame the quarterback for not getting the play and getting the play communicated, that's the head coach's job. Travis, last year ETN's average rush before contact was 0.7 yards. Unless we have negative rush yards, the majority are going to be after contact.
Sure. I don't really know how to respond to that. Yeah.
Of course you don't. No, you're
getting hit behind the line of scrimmage and you run well. I don't know. Yeah.
Your answer should have been, we're cooked.
I mean, we have been cooked for a while, yes.
That should have been your answer. Jason, if you could have a meeting with Doug, what advice would you give him?
Let's go.
Easy. Super easy. I've been saying this for years. And it's gone under the radar because people don't care. That's the real answer. Stop running the tight formations and freaking spread the field. You have playmakers at wide receiver. You have a terrible offensive line, and you have a good quarterback. So put your receivers sideline to sideline. Let your quarterback find the gaps in the man or the zone, and let him make the decision. Stop running these precise timing routes with a terrible offensive line, and let your quarterback cook and find the soft spots in the zone. He knows who his good receivers are. He knows what receivers can run what good routes. Let him get to the line of scrimmage. Go no huddle, like you said, Travis. Go no huddle. Let Travis get to the line of scrimmage. Trevor. Let Trevor get to the line of scrimmage, and let him be a on-field general, and let him cook. You paid him $240 million.
We have officially reached the Seattle Seahawks Russell Wilson stage of let Trevor cook. Am I correct? That is where we are now.
I mean, at least the Seahawks had a defensive-minded head coach who at least had the wherewithal to say that. We have an offensive-minded coach who's pigeonholed in his philosophy to run, pass on every drive and go 3 and out. Let Trevor get up to the line of scrimmage, find the soft spots in the zone, he can make pre-snap audibles with a running back he played college football with, receivers who he knows every intricacy detail of their route running and catching abilities, and let him dictate the game. Stop giving him these stupid-ass route concepts where he has one read or run or get sacked. That would be my advice to him.
Dang.
What's the worst that could happen? We lose 8 out of 9 games if you do that?
Well, that's the fun part about this is we know what Doug is and we know what he's not. We know Doug being hired made the floor for this team 500, which I would also argue is Trevor Lawrence being the quarterback with is probably around that same range. Is
What's the
about
ceiling?
being a
What's the
500 team.
ceiling? 600? 600 is the ceiling, 500 is the floor. I agree with you
600 is
there.
realistic. Realistically, the ceiling is probably 11 wins.
Not
And
even. Doug
well, not this
Peterson's
team, not this year, but I mean overall, because his offense has actually gotten objectively, again, not my opinion, looking at all the advanced data, looking at points scored, looking at the EPA per play, looking at the rush yardage, everything, year by year by year, this offense has gotten worse. And it doesn't matter what you throw at it, doesn't matter what money you throw at it, doesn't matter what what changes you've made in draft picks. It's objectively in nearly every category have gotten worse from 22 to 23 to now 2024. And there has to be some conversation surrounding that. What does that mean? And what do you, and how can, like, is that the scheme? And that's kind of why I was trying to, I had this argument with someone else a few days ago. It's the Kansas City Chiefs scheme, man. And I know people want to say, wait, what do you mean? The Super Bowl champions, that scheme is great. No, 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 no. They won the first year being a high flying offense and a bad defense. They won the second year being a defensive team who can run the ball, and just having a magician at quarterback in the last series of the game. That's not the same. That offense does not work if that dude's not magic. Everybody's not Pat Mahomes. So you're trying to run that same Pat Mahomes offense without Pat Mahomes. It's going to look like an offense that's struggling on third downs and in the red zones because everyone's not that guy in the pocket. That's where we are. That's honestly what I feel.
I like as I get older, I put less stock in those analytics that you just cited
Cool.
because I look at the last drive of the game with Trevor Lawrence where he picked up chunk yardage. I look at
Yeah.
when you're behind and you're, like you said, going no huddle. And it's hard for me to assign that to Doug Peterson's scheme because that's not his scheme. So when I go the eyeball test and you take out those outliers, which the offense is good, and if you were to take those analytics when it's quote unquote Doug Peterson's scheme, it's not even good enough to win any game. It's putrid.
They
And
had like
it's
74 yards, like total yards with like 2 minutes left in the third quarter. That's before Trevor started doing the hurry up offense. It's the same thing I was saying earlier. That's not a coincidence. It's the hurry up offense part, which means, hey, I need you out of my ear, and I'm just gonna run this thing through me.
yeah,
It's different. It's better that way, but it's also more volatile that way because it's not in the
great
coach's
word.
control anymore.
That like the second before you said volatile, that word came into my head, and I was like, that's the downside. But when you look at Trevor as the player he is, he's Brett Favre-ish, and he's a volatile
So you
quarterback.
need volatile. You need Bitcoin. You need just
It is.
let's do
It's
what
what he
happens.
is. And I would go further to say that's your highest chance of success.
At this point, yeah, I think that's pretty spot on. I don't think you have much of a choice at this point. But it's your job on the line. You probably want to be in control.
Be in control. How about to be in control? How about you tell us you're calling the plays? How about that? If you want to be in control, call the offensive player.
Well,
How about
he
that,
is.
Doug?
Well, he is. Let's be clear. If he hasn't told you who's calling plays, then he is in control no matter what. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like,
That doesn't change me off my opinion that I think Doug Peterson and Press Taylor would be calling the same plays. That's
they are, yeah.
That's my point is like, and that's what Jags, again, and I said this earlier, that's a hard pill for Jags fans to swallow is that if Doug Peterson and Press Taylor are calling the plays, they're the exact same plays. They've been working together forever. They're in meeting rooms every day. They're the exact same freaking place. Like it's not Press Taylor doesn't have this identity outside of Doug Peterson where his play calling is any different. So that's like, regardless of who's calling the plays, they're going to be the same. That's what people don't want to accept. And they're looking for that scapegoat.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah, that's kind of what it is.
Travis, give that speech to Shad when he's hiring the next GM or head coach.
Yeah. the next GM and head coach. I'm sure they won't be at the same time because we don't do that here.
Offense doesn't have enough snaps to use differently on offense.
That's fair. I don't even know how many snaps they had at halftime.
That's good. That's good and fair. That's good and fair. Y'all two are hilarious with great analysis. Thank you. I like to give Travis more credit than myself because before Travis got here, I was a mess. Travis, please don't go back and watch this. And
I watched you for like 3 or 4 months before I ever came on this show. Come on, man. Let's stop lying to these people.
I was bad today. I needed you today bad. You know, like I mean, I was going to use a bad illustration there. I needed you today. Okay, I needed you today. All right, I'll get to a few more comments, and then I got to end this show. I got to piss like a racehorse. So we'll get to a few more comments here. Charlie Boy says, the season already feels over. Travis, is the season over?
No. Oh, no. No. It's a week-by-week season, man. You should feel like that. Today's Tuesday. Tomorrow, you're going to regroup. We're going to get this thing right. And by Friday morning, you're going to be out there drinking whatever you drank and doing whatever you do, getting ready to start pre-gaming for Monday and saying we're going to beat the Bills because we beat the Bills. And now if we're 1-2, everything's good. Everything changes. You're going to be back on this horse. Come on, we know what this is. So feel how you want to feel tonight. Sleep it off tomorrow. Get back on this horse because it's going to be Duval till we die. That's what it is.
I agree with everything you just said. I couldn't have said better myself. Do you think we beat the Bills on Monday?
Absolutely not. No, all right. My prediction on this one, and I haven't even put it out in the article yet. Wait, so I'm not going to give a score.
You don't have to give us specifics. Just give us a feel. Give us a feel.
But I don't believe we will. I do believe we can.
I actually think I haven't okay, so let me just say this right now. I'm not a big I told you so guy. We make bet predictions on Club Jaguar on the Vegas lines.
Yeah.
I'm 6-1 and they are 1-6.
Dang.
It is what it is. I've kind of had a feel for this team because I had taken the position of until you show me you're not last year's team, you're last year's team. And so far, they've been last year's team. So I said the Jags were not going to cover. I said they're going to hit the under. I'm 6-1 on these gambling bets. I actually have a good feeling about Monday. I actually do. I don't know if I'm willing to say that we beat the Bills, but I need to see that spread and think about it. If that spread's 6 or 7 points, I may take the Jags to cover the spread, and I think it hits the over. I genuinely think the Jags come out on primetime, which is not their MO. I know it's not their MO.
Not at all.
I know being on the road and I know playing on primetime is not their MO. I just have this feeling in my gut that they're going to play their best game so far next week. And I'm not someone that's sunshine and rainbows because I called the last 2 games happening the way they did. But I just do have a feeling that the way Trevor came out in his press conference pissed off, and the way I just think that this is the type of game that Trevor's because we've seen Trevor be you know what, screw this play call, I'm doing my own thing. If I'm Trevor,
and the coaches hated it so much.
They hated it.
The Superman dive over the goal line,
and it usually doesn't work. And I'll be honest, it usually doesn't work. But I just have a feeling about this game. Something is just in me where I feel like Trevor's gonna be screw this, I'm balling out. Because at this point, the national you're gonna have the entire national media looking at you. Everyone's gonna be watching you. Trevor, I feel he's gonna elevate his game and be I am not this dog shit run pass quarterback on a 2 concept read. I'm gonna go do my own thing. And I think that can be the best thing that happens for the Jags.
So what I'm hearing is Trevor's going to become Brett Favre.
He is Brett Favre. We just need.
He's just gonna be out there saying, "Man, F this. I'm turning this off, and I'm running this playbook, and I don't care what it is."
That would be the best version of Trevor Lawrence we could ever imagine.
Ooh.
I kind of had those feelings the last few years, but now that I'm seeing him more, he's the guy that passes up the wide open 8-yard drag route for the 15 to 17-yard corner route into a window. Trevor has always
and
been
makes the
that.
throw.
He has
Yeah.
always been that. So let him do it. You have a defense that can, in theory, stand up to the turnovers. Trevor's a guy that turns over the ball. You know what? But he's also a guy that can make deep down the throw passes. He can make throws off balance. He can make throws under pressure. Let him do it. Stop pigeonholing him into this backup quarterback concept offense, as you said, Trevor, which I agree with so much.
Okay.
So I think we bounce back this week. I'm on the verge of saying we win, but I definitely think we cover. So,
well, I almost want to say they win. I almost want to say they win because they're finally playing another defense, another zone defense, cover 3, cover 2, cover 6 defense. I mean, they do a lot of disguising, but at the core, that's all it is. And like Miami Dolphins, this isn't like last week where you're playing a team that's press man, the primary types of defense that this scheme generally struggles against. They're going to give you the space. They want you to nickel and dime them down the field. Well, fortunately, that's exactly what the Jaguars offense wants to do anyways. They want to nickel and dime down the field. So what you want me to do is exactly what I want to do. I think the Jaguars didn't have success moving up and down the field, and it just comes back down to the margins that we talked about earlier. What's going to happen on third down? What's going to happen in the red zone? That's going to be the conversation of the game. And if the Jaguars finally, I say finally, this goes back to 2 years now at this point, have a good game in the red zone and on third downs, then they win the game. They don't. That's it.
I think they'll have more opportunity because I think, like you said, the defense that the Bills will show them will lend them to more third and shorts and not have to put it on the passing game to pick up these third and mediums and longs. So I think you're right. I think it does tend to them being a little bit better than in the past. So I think now that we've reached the 2-hour mark, my cat jumped up on my lap, which is insinuating that either she's hungry or she's ready for some attention, which means that I've gone a little too long. So before we leave the show, Travis, one more time, and I know you said it already, but people join this show late and people come in after the fact. Where's your next content going to be? Where's your next article going to be? What's your next article going to be on? And give us where you're going to be next.
All right. So more likely than not, unless some news breaks, because I still handle the breaking news in addition to the write-ups for the games and what I saw in my rewatch after the games are over. But you can find all of those writings at bigcatcountry.com. That's where we handle press conferences, practice reports, game reports, things of that nature, breaking news. If you see it there, is one of the few writers there handling it, or myself if it's news specifically, because that's what I'm here for. But also we have the Duval Dive, a Jaguars podcast that airs tomorrow night at 7:30, right before you can go right into Club Jaguar. So please like and subscribe us on the Duval Dive on YouTube. And again, that's tomorrow. We're going to have one of the guys, Whittle, I forget his last name. He's a Buffalo Bills reporter. He's going to be on talking to us, kind of previewing the game, seeing his thoughts on, matchups and things of that nature. So check it out.
I mean, listen, I was trying to think in my head if this sounded bad, and I apologize if it does, because you guys know my heart and my intentions. But like, Travis does this like part-time, and not to say you don't like give your full energy to it, but like you have another job. Like you do this in auxiliary to your other job, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by part-time, not like you give half effort, but you have another job and do this like with your free time and with any extra time you have, and you still do it 100 times better than people that do it full time. And that's what I wanted people to like get from that. So if you still haven't followed Travis on any of his stuff, I am blown away by the level of intricacy and detail that Travis gives to his content, that you would never know that he has another job, because he does it better than full-time people. That is what I'm trying to say. So I hope that came across the right way. But I'm telling you right now, it is amazing. Go follow all of his stuff. I literally would trust Travis with anything more than anyone else over full-time people is what I'm trying to tell you. So go follow all his stuff. Travis Holmes on Twitter, the Duval Dive, Big Cat Country. Big Cat Country's had a lot of turnover because I've been a Jags fan my whole life, and Big Cat Country's been around for a long time. I've seen them go through a lot of turnover, and they've never had someone as good as you. So just keep that in mind. Go follow Travis's articles. I know things that you guys don't know about the work that Travis puts in, and it's amazing. Okay, so follow all that stuff. Corey T says the comments are like insane tonight, which I love. I think it's Travis, the Travis effect. But Corey T says make sure to drop in a like on the way out. Do that.
Yes,
helps the video. My job, I want to promote everybody. Like I said, we have Racha Sriracha here. If you have a business that you want to promote, I don't need money. I just want you to be a Jags fan and have a good product. I'll promote it. We'll do that. Everything's in the video description. Travis will be on a lot because he's welcome anytime that he is available. And that there's a very small amount of people that are like that. So Travis, thank you. Thank you so much. I seriously want to tell you, thank you for coming on and talking. Thank you for the commenters. Thank you for the commenters that are here. A lot of comments. This might be like a record-breaking comments because I was not even able to even keep up with the comments. So I appreciate it. I will see you guys on my show Friday night on my. Actually, now I think about it, I kind of have to work Friday night, so we might have to do a show Thursday night or Saturday because I have to work late Friday.
Oh wait, it's a Monday night game. Yeah. So I guess that gives you that opening.
Point. I could do Saturday. It's a great point. Chances are I will not be in a great state of mind Saturday. Yeah, but there will be another
for a good show. Yeah,
there will be another show by then. I'll be on Club Jaguar tomorrow with UCF Jaguar and DeLugo. I'm going to gloat about my betting record because why wouldn't you, right? So I'm going to do that. Travis, thank you again. I appreciate it. Thank you to all the commenters.
My pleasure, bro.
We will see you guys very soon next show. And as always, go Jags.